Well, welcome to my least favorite time of year. I do not like late July and August, and we are right in the throes of both of them, i.e. the dog days of summer. It's hard to have a beautiful garden, much less even a presentable one, but we're gonna try. So today let's talk about 5 tips to a semi-fabulous late summer garden, or as I like to say, help, my garden looks like, well, you can fill in the blank, because definitely mine does. I've been in Ireland, and now when I came home, a lot of stuff, despite its good care under Jen and Kelly's careful watering, nevertheless, it turned very, very hot. Today it's supposed to be 102, and that's the excuse I'm going to use. So let's talk about some things we can do to make our gardens look at least handsome and presentable, if not beautiful. Okay, number 1, we're gonna refresh by rearranging. My back stoop normally looks very beautiful, but right now it looks like heck. I've just been putting ailing houseplants out there. All of my geraniums are suffering. Some of the larger boxwoods and things need to be relocated, and I'm going to do that because our overcrowded containers, things that are sun-scorched or areas that feel kind of visually heavy, I want to refresh those. I'm going to shift the planters around. I want to probably swap in maybe some fresh seasonal textures, or at least be thinking about it as fall approaches, and kind of balance the whole area with more breathing space. My result, I hope, will be lighter, cooler, a little more harmonious. It's kind of like, you know, when you get tired of your surroundings and you refresh a room by moving the furniture. This trick gives you instant satisfaction. So I'm gonna get to work. I may not complete it today, but nevertheless, I'm gonna get started. Okay, now my dilemma right now is that lots of these pots need to be moved. I relocated one of these hollies up to the upper step just to put it in more shade because, as you can see from the browning, it's just too hot. It's just too hot a location when the temperatures are in the hundreds. So my issue is that I'm gonna need help in moving some of those around, which is why one of the reasons Stuart is here today. But there are things I can go ahead and do myself. So I am going to start cleaning up the smaller ones. I'm gonna blow off this space, and then Stuart's gonna help me move some pots into a different location, maybe not their permanent location, but at least into a cooler, less harsh environment for right now. My methodology, by the way, is that I'm just going to move all of this stuff into one location, and I'll tackle it later when I tackle that area for a refresh and a reboot. So my objective here is I want to get these hollies out of the sun because they're just getting scorched. They were so happy before, but what is happy in the 80s isn't necessarily happy when it gets to be 100 degrees. So the boxwood, these better boxwoods, they seem to be able to handle things just fine. So this is going to be my first try at an arrangement, and these pots aren't too heavy to move. I can typically move them myself, but because of my elbow, I'm trying to be very cautious. So that is also a tip. Make sure as you are refreshing your space that you are very, very careful. Don't do it all at once. Get help if you can, especially if you are going to be, I don't know, like arranging furniture. You put it one place one time and then another place another time. Now, this looks a little bit bare right now, and that's perfectly fine for me because this spot is just too hot. When it gets to be fall, I'll come back and I'll put a pop of color in there, or maybe move the hollies back into their permanent location. Now, the hollies up here are looking a little wonky because these two are faux concrete pots and they don't fit flush. So we're going to mess with those a little bit to see how we can get them to kind of stand up and fly right here. So we'll take a break, and when we come back, we'll do just that. Make sure that you stay until the end, because I'm going to share the one plant that I really regret I did not plant more of this year, and I'm still hoping that I can get some of it in before fall. Okay, number 2 is refresh by judicious clipping and pruning. That means deadheading. It means removing any kind of sunburnt foliage or yellowing foliage. It means maybe doing some gentle pruning on some trees and shrubs. I'm not going to do a lot of that right now, partly because I am in full sun and it is heating up. It's probably already close to the highs of the day, and I want to be very, very careful. But I will show you the after when it is complete in totality. But right now, let's look at it from this vantage point, and you can see it looks a lot less cluttered. Now, does it look devoid of any punches of color? Well, yeah, it kind of does, even though those begonias are doing okay. I'm going to blow it off again. And as I said, I'm going to really clean up some of these pots. After I do that, I will show you the after so that you can get an idea of how this whole area can be refreshed. But I not only needed to do some pruning, some deadheading, some tidying up, in other words, good garden grooming on some of these plants right here, but I also want to do a little bit of it on this tree. Okay, now as I said, my number 2 tip is to do deadheading, grooming, and very judicious clipping and pruning. So I'm not going to do anything too exaggerated on this Japanese maple, but it's getting very, very kind of leggy. A lot of suckers have come up from the bottom, and I just want to improve its appearance a little bit. I also want to move this, well, it's just turning out to be a little bit unsightly. It's overgrown and it's just not happy. 2 weeks ago, this butterfly weed planter with the sun patience in it, it was so gorgeous. But in just a matter of a week, it went south. What that's telling me is it doesn't want to be here any longer. So I'm going to have Stuart move this for me. Okay, as I said, I'm not going to do any dramatic pruning on this, but this is one of the things that's contributing to this just looking not very good. So what I want to do is I'm just going to remove some of these bottom suckers right now, because they just, well, for one thing, they're congesting the space. I'm using my wonderful Works pruners. And the other reason is I'm going to start doing lots of potting here at this potting table. And I want to be able to get in and out of here pretty easily. And now that I have lived in this space for a while, I realize that I just need to move some things. And so I am going to do that. So as you can see, I'm just tidying it up a little bit just to make it look not so overgrown, because that's one of the reasons our gardens start looking like heck this time of year. It's because they just get overgrown, they get lanky, and they get tired looking. And who wants that look? Well, I wouldn't mind looking lanky. I don't know about you. Okay, so that's about as much as I'm going to do right here, but you can see that down at the bottom, I just removed some of this, and it looks just a little bit more presentable. Again, I'm not going for perfection. I'm not necessarily going for beauty. I am looking for tidy, not overgrown, and just kind of acceptable right now. Okay, so this whole thing, and it would have taken me less time if I weren't doing it on camera, but it's taken me about 10 minutes. And I think it looks a lot better. Now, did I just kind of move one problem from one area to another? Yes, I did, but it needs to be done. And it's already 92, 93, as Stuart just told me, so it's getting pretty hot, and I don't want to be working in the sun anymore. So I'm going to relegate some of the rest of this stuff to a little bit later. in the evening or when this area is in shade again. And that was the problem. This area at the beginning of the season is very, very shady. Towards the end of the season, i.e. this time of year, it is very, very hot. That's why some of these things that were once happy are no longer happy. Now, what am I going to do with some of these plants that have a little bit of dieback on the interior, because this speaks to pruning too. And number one, I want to just hopefully, I want to stop it. So I've moved these to a shadier location. These areas on the interior of these hollies that are starting to die out, I'm going to prune some of that out, but I'm not going to do that until, again, it's a little bit cooler and a little bit later. They still pretty much have their same form. I'm probably also going to transplant them out of these containers here, because these, even though they're lightweight and they fit, they won't sit straight. And so that bugs me. So as you might, as you might understand, that kind of bugs me. So, but for right now, I'm going to call it good, and I'm going to move on to my next tip. Okay, before we begin again, let's just start with an outfit of the day. A very wonky outfit of the day. I've got on Hub's sun hat. Do I even have sunglasses on anymore? No, I took my sunglasses off. I have my farmer's sleeves on, and we'll provide links to all of them. Oh, there they are. There's my sunglasses. But mostly I want to do this because I want to show you this cute t-shirt my sister sent me. Let's root for each other. Boy, do we all need that. And I think it's really, really cute. And I like it because it's in this color that I think will, again, transition well until fall. So I'll put the link to this up, but I think it's adorable. And I think it would, yeah, cute sleeve. I like everything about it. It'd be cute under a blazer, I think. So, but I digress. Okay, let's go on now to my next thing. But before we go on to the next thing, here's another example of cleaning up dead foliage and things like that. So these fig trees, even though I now know that I should have pinched them back in March, not later, to produce more figs, nevertheless, they've put on lots of wonderful growth, and I am thrilled by that. But I want to clean them up and make them look a little bit better by removing some of the bottom leaves, because I want them to look more statuesque and eventually look more like an espalier, one of the things that I saw in Ireland that I want to replicate. Now, Mother Nature is doing that for me because a lot of these lower leaves are yellowing. Now, I was concerned about that, so I did a little bit of research, and actually, especially when the temps are this high, that is normal. This is just normal leaf drop. It's not overwatering or underwatering, though that's something that I'm definitely going to be paying attention to. It is just, it's just it doing its thing. So I'm going to clean all of this up. I'll show you an after later. Let me get up front and up close and personal with this fig. And I'm going to, right here, Stuart, let's put up a list of things about figs, about expectations and not do's and don'ts. But it already looks a little bit better just by removing this yellowing foliage. And then I'll probably come back, and when it's not so hot, because I want to use some of these branches inside, I'll cut back some of these lower branches. But I'm going to do that later when it's cooler, because that's the time of day that you want to do that. Okay, but what's my third thing? My third thing is don't let weeds take control. Now, I know that's easier said than done. I know you're saying, well, Linda, you don't have that many weeds. And yes, that's true. But as Helen Dillon reminded us, she was my favorite Irish gardener. She now is, she's still in Ireland. I talked with one of the gardeners there extensively about her and her influence on Irish gardening. She sadly now has dementia. But she always said, never pass by a weed. And that's true. So even if something is insignificant, like this spurge right here, I'm going to end this little bit of clover right there. I'm going to go ahead and get that out. Now, probably what I'll do later, I don't have a fresh batch mixed up. But right here, Stuart, let's put a link to that horticultural vinegar, because typically what I like to do is just spritz them. And that is particularly effective when you're working in places like this, in between the bricks, in between the cracks of the sidewalk or the driveway, because even though I think I might be getting out the weed when I'm pulling it, I'm probably not, because it's so hot and dry. So even tiny little things like this, save yourself some work later in the summer and later in fall. Never pass a weed. Go ahead and address it. So what I like to do is think, okay, well, this morning I may not do anything except for perhaps just address the weeds. And so I'll get my spray bottle of vinegar. You can do this when it's very, very hot, because the hotter it is, the hotter and sunnier it is, the sooner it will kill the weeds. Come over here, Stuart, if you would. Okay, never pass a weed. Unfortunately, this is one of my favorite weed eaters. It's this hori knife. Let's put up a link here. You guys always ask. So over here, where I've got all of these things positioned, I have a number. And no, I still don't have my bee house up for a lot of reasons I won't go into, a lot of impediments I won't go into, but it will get up this fall. But like over here, there's a number of them that I need to take care of. The ones that are I especially want to get control of, because they tend to spread for me more than anything, and that is this. It's clover. And it will not only spread in the ground, but it will spread into my pots as well. So when I can, I'll come out here with my spritz bottle and I will take care of that. So weeds are not only not attractive, but they're also stealing moisture from the rest of your garden. They could possibly set seed, creating you no end of troubles later in the late summer, even later than now, or in the early fall. So make an investment in the future and do that weeding now if you possibly can. Okay, the other thing that we want to practice is good garden hygiene, because I think good housekeeping in general, indoors or out, brings peace and calm. And so we want to get rid of, remove scattered tools, empty dead pots like these right here. This at one time was a fuchsia. Oops. This at one time was a fuchsia, and this at one time was an ivy that is not happy. This one needs to be moved. So all of these that don't look good, I'm going to relocate to my plant hospital over there, so that when I tackle that area, I'm all of these. But this is the kind of thing that has given me golfer's elbow, picking up pots like this. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to pick it up like this with my good right hand and kind of, I don't know, cuddle it up to my tummy so that I've got support. I'm going to move these out of the way. My ugly place is getting more and more populated, but that's okay. And what a tremendous difference it makes just by removing dead plants. Yes, it may look a little bit empty, but I'm okay with that, because this is going to give me an opportunity later in the season for me to put more seasonal color, to put more pots like this of all of the cuttings I took of the coleus. You can see I watered this morning. And I would rather it look bare than dead. Better bare than dead. And just that minor amount of housekeeping. The heucherellas right now, it's just so hot. So I'm just going to remove some of these dead leaves. Notice I am not feeding right now. I'm not going to feed these. I'm just watering them really, really well. And here's a watering tip. I see this lots of different places at other people's homes and also my own. And that is when we water, we tend to water from the front. So I'm here, I'm watering here. We want to make sure that whenever we water a plant, we water it completely 360. Because a lot of times what happens is the front gets watered, it drips out, but the back isn't watered. And then we wonder why there's uneven dieback. It's because all of that moisture may be dripping out prematurely and it's not saturating the root balls of all of the contents of that container. Now my fifth tip is that while you are doing your chores, like this salvia, it's gotten overgrown, it needs to be cut back. But while I am cutting this back, I am simultaneously dreaming and planning for the future. So by cutting this back, it will be bushy, more bushy. It will look better in the fall, especially as I'm planning for a fall garden tour. But while I'm doing this, I am also, and by the way, please note, I'm not cutting it back really hard like I did earlier in the season. This is an annual that I'm just cutting back probably by about a third to a half. I'm not cutting it back all the way because that would stress it too much. But in addition to cutting it back, I am also reassessing my overall garden design for the future. And that is, did I like the effect of this red salvia growing in between the boxwoods, or did I not? And I kind of think I don't. And that's my question of the day for you. It's growing in between here, and sometimes it looks really, really great, but this time of year it doesn't look great. And even when it looks great, I think it might look too cluttered. So that's my question for you. Should it stay or should it go? And not just this salvia, but plants like this artemisia that also, even though I have cut it back once, look at it. I don't know if well, it's part of it, it's natural growth habit, but it is just getting, it just isn't holding its form. And I don't like that in a backyard. Don't ever pass up a weed or a little volunteer tree if that's the case. That I've got strong forms everywhere else, and even though I like blousiness against the strong form, this doesn't look blousy, this looks messy. So I am thinking, as I plan for the future while I am doing my chores, is maybe this would be happier in the new garden bed. And maybe I should just not keep it here at all and move it. So definitely it's too hot to do any moving right now, but I am thinking that I might like this better over in one of my new garden areas than I like it here. What say you? I really do take what you say into account, and sometimes you guys put a blush on it that is something I haven't thought of. So I really, really appreciate it. So look at this whole area. Look at my uglies. This does not look good now. Well, let me reframe that. Some of it looks good, the boxwood looks good, but the salvia and these other things don't look good. So to make life easier on myself next year, maybe I should just remove them entirely, let the boxwoods get bigger, let some ground covers move in, plant some tulips or something in between them in the fall, and then just call it good. I've got another example and a really major question that I'm thinking about and stressing about when we come back. Now my fifth tip is that while you are doing your chores, like this salvia, it's gotten overgrown, it needs to be cut back. But while I am cutting this back, I am simultaneously dreaming and planning for the future. So by cutting this back, it will be bushy, more bushy. It will look better in the fall, especially as I'm planning for a fall garden tour. But while I'm doing this, I am also, and by the way, please note, I'm not cutting it back really hard like I did earlier in the season. This is an annual that I'm just cutting back probably by about a third to a half. I'm not cutting it back all the way because that would stress it too much. But in addition to cutting it back, I am also reassessing my overall garden design for the future. And that is, did I like the effect of this red salvia growing in between the boxwoods, or did I not? And I kind of think I don't. And that's my question of the day for you. It's growing in between here, and sometimes it looks really, really great, but this time of year it doesn't look great. And even when it looks great, I think it might look too cluttered. So that's my question for you. Should it stay or should it go? And not just this salvia, but plants like this artemisia that also, even though I have cut it back once, look at it. I don't know if well, it's part of it, it's natural growth habit, but it is just getting, it just isn't holding its form. And I don't like that in a backyard. Don't ever pass up a weed or a little volunteer tree if that's the case. That I've got strong forms everywhere else, and even though I like blousiness against the strong form, this doesn't look blousy, this looks messy. So I am thinking, as I plan for the future while I am doing my chores, is maybe this would be happier in the new garden bed. And maybe I should just not keep it here at all and move it. So definitely it's too hot to do any moving right now, but I am thinking that I might like this better over in one of my new garden areas than I like it here. What say you? I really do take what you say into account, and sometimes you guys put a blush on it that is something I haven't thought of. So I really, really appreciate it. So look at this whole area. Look at my uglies. This does not look good now. Well, let me reframe that. Some of it looks good, the boxwood looks good, but the salvia and these other things don't look good. So to make life easier on myself next year, maybe I should just remove them entirely, let the boxwoods get bigger, let some ground covers move in, plant some tulips or something in between them in the fall, and then just call it good. I've got another example and a really major question that I'm thinking about and stressing about when we come back. Okay, we're going to try to shoot this pretty quickly because it is just hot as the dickens over here. So here's my stressful decision for right now. I'm not sure I want these Annabelle hydrangeas to stay here for a couple of different reasons. One, they tend to get very, very large, and when they're in bloom, they look beautiful, but when they're not in bloom, they just look kind of ugly and lanky. And as importantly, what I've discovered is that when they are fully flushed out, they tend to cover up some of the evergreens, like one of those hollies there. And then when I cut it back, that evergreen, which heretofore was not exposed to the sun, now just can't handle the heavy exposure of sun, heat, and light. And so I'm thinking that do I want to move these to one of those beds where they will have more room, the new bed on the east side where I'm considering having hydrangeas? Do I want to steal from Peter to pay Paul, move these, transplant them in the fall? And then what I'm thinking about, which is something I thought about originally, and then I just let the idea go south, but now I'm thinking about it again, is do I want to plant, because it would be perfect exposure and my other climbing rose is doing brilliantly, do I want to plant a climbing rose on here? And so that's what I want to know. I want to know your opinion on this, and I want to know your opinion on whether or not I should put a climbing rose on here, and if so, what variety. And along those same lines, as I am tackling my chores now and dreaming about the future, the near future, and next spring, I am going to go through my David Austin roses catalog because I really love this brand of roses. You guys know that I do. That color might be beautiful on the front. So I definitely want to stay in the warm range. So maybe a gold rose. I'm not that fond of a red rose, but we'll see. So give me your ideas, and if you know a specific variety that I should look at, please let me know. And coming up this weekend, I am going to reveal for you which bulbs in my Color Blends catalog I'm going to be ordering for this coming spring and fall planting, and then also what is on my white flower farm list. I still have not done this. I hope to do it on the plane while we were away, but I never got to it. So I'm going to select some items from the White Flower Farm catalog. So that is it. We're dreaming about the future, but let me know your thoughts, particularly on the hydrangeas. Stuart, let's show some pretty pictures right here, since I've showed all my uglies here in the backyard. Some pretty pictures right now of what the hydrangeas are looking like, because there were some people out there as we were shooting. I noticed that we're out there taking some pictures. The front ones look beautiful. They bloom later than Annabelle. I might want to incorporate some of those, the Moon Dance or the White Wedding. Let me know your thoughts on that. I'm also thinking about some, excuse me, Miss Lemonabilia. Well, just let me know your thoughts on all sorts of things. And when I come back, we'll close with my one plant I wish I had planted more of this year.
Oh my gosh, can I take a picture with you?
Donna Jones from Virginia?
Yes! Do you know Donna Jones? Lovettsville, Virginia.
I mean, she is absolutely, you are absolutely incredibly chic.
Oh, well.
That is just so lovely. Well, you never know what's going to happen at the cottage on the hill. And Stuart and I, we heard some, well, let's just say clucking outside. And then we realized we had some garden visitors. And these are those garden visitors. Well, I'm just going to let them introduce themselves. They're from Virginia. They are here visiting Oklahoma City. Their friend Donna
Jones.
Donna Jones
Yes.
is an enthusiastic follower, and she told them to come by, and I'm so flattered we were your first stop. Who knew? Who knew? So introduce yourselves, ladies.
I'm Amy. I'm Kathy.
I'm Becky. I'm Beth.
Okay, and tell me now, who all are sisters?
We're all of us.
All of us.
Oh, you're all sisters. I didn't realize you were a sister too.
We're all sisters.
Okay, so they are one of seven, and there are 5 sisters.
Five sisters.
Okay.
We're all on
Number
the
5
trip.
is still in the car.
Okay,
Yes.
I am one of 10, and I have 6. There's 6 girls.
Oh.
6 girls in my family, and these 2 are twins.
Yeah.
And we were talking about Virginia and how Johnny went to University of Virginia and how much I love that part of the country. So besides coming by to see the garden, why are you guys in Oklahoma City?
We have not been back since we were born here.
50 years
So it's
ago.
been 50 years that we've been back to
my
Oklahoma.
gosh.
Yes.
Our mother is traveling with us. She'll turn 90 in November, and she came to visit her sister, who's 80 this month.
Oh, that is so
Yeah.
that is so dear. Well, let me just give you some tips.
Yes.
Oklahoma City ain't what it used to be. It is.
Right. Okay.
It is so cool now. I mean, it really is so cool. I encourage you to just drive around these streets
Oh,
here.
okay.
The homes are
beautiful.
just fabulous.
They
They're
look
real. They're all.
amazing.
This is a historic preservation area. Go visit my favorite. This is a little shout out for all of my small businesses near here. But go to Commonplace Books, my favorite bookstore.
Okay.
On Walker, just shop up and down Walker. There's great restaurants.
Okay.
There's great bars. There's great just boutiques. It's so much fun. It's so much fun. It's all within walking distance. That was probably too hot to walk today. But how wonderful for your mom to be able to visit with her
Yes.
sister.
I know. That's the reason for the trip. So thank you for letting us come and visit your beautiful garden.
Oh, it is my pleasure. People come here from literally everywhere. It surprises me sometimes, but I'm always so pleased and flattered, and especially if you're coming from the beautiful state of Virginia. Virginia. Well, what a fun interruption from some Bells from Virginia. What a fun group, and I got to meet their mother too. Absolutely delightful. Well, as promised, here's the one plant I wish that I had been a little bit more generous with in my landscape this year. And if you stand back and look at all of it, you'll see the pockets that really pop out. Most of them are in white, and a lot of it is this white lantana. The white lantana, well really lantana in general, does better than any hot weather annual you can plant. I think it does better than angelonia, than sun patiens, than pentas. I think it's absolutely the best, even portulaca and those, because it thrives on the heat. The other thing I like about it is when everything else is starting to go south, it really begins to show off. And here's an example of that, is the lantana that I've planted, and you can tell it's starting to wilt, but it'll come right back. But that I planted up and down Autumn's Edge. And it will be beautiful and even probably twice as large come the garden tour in October. So that's my #1 plant. I wish I had planted more of. I'm going to be using more of it this fall in the way of hanging baskets and container gardens, and I absolutely love it. Okay, what's coming up? In August and September, it's all about us. It's all about health and beauty and getting to know ourselves better. I think that there is so much content there that we need to have a conversation about as we age, and as we age, whether we're in our 20s, our 30s, our 40s, our 50s, our 60s, our 70s, our 80s. We're going to have some, I think, some new contributors to the channel. I think it's going to be very, very fun. I'm excited about it. In the meantime, you might want to check out our topiary playlist, because quite frequently I have declared August as topiary month because it's when my myrtle topiaries look their very best. So we'll put a link and check out our topiary playlist. It might give you some ideas of your own. You guys take care, and I will see you this weekend.